After Jesus died on the cross, he remained in the grave for 3 days. Christadelphians believe that the Bible is right. On the third day, God raised Jesus from death back to life again. The Apostle Paul wrote, "Christ has indeed been raised from the dead." On the resurrection morning, however, the Roman soldiers who guarded the tomb lied about the true events that took place under their watch. They said, "His disciples came during the night and stole him away while we were asleep." And that story was circulated, and it's still believed by some today. So, what evidence do we have that Jesus was indeed raised from the dead? First, we have eyewitness testimony. The Bible records that after the resurrection, Jesus presented himself alive to more than 500 disciples. The record goes on to show that not only did these witnesses see the risen Lord, some shared conversation with him, others ate with him, and one even touched the nail marks on his hands. And later on, many of them and others who had heard their testimony were prepared to give their very lives because of their belief in this fact. They didn't die for a principle or a philosophical idea. They were prepared for martyrdom because of their belief in the literal bodily resurrection of Jesus. Now, the second point of evidence is circumstantial but also extremely powerful. The Bible presents a remarkable and otherwise unexplainable change in the character and behavior of Jesus' apostles. Before his death, they feared that their association with Jesus put their own lives in danger. The Bible tells us that they all left him and fled. Remarkably, though, the book of Acts describes how these same fearful men suddenly became bold and courageous. They acted and spoke fearlessly. No threats could stop them from proclaiming the fact that Jesus was alive again. In one example, the Apostle Peter stood up to those he previously feared, and he said, "We must obey God rather than men. The God of our fathers raised Jesus from the dead, whom you crucified." So, what caused him to become so fearless? He and others had seen the risen Christ. It was only the resurrection of Jesus that could have caused such a profound change. It was the basis for Christianity to spread so rapidly and so powerfully throughout the Roman Empire. Yes, Jesus Christ is alive today. He was raised from the dead, and he later ascended to heaven. Christadelphians believe that Jesus will return from heaven to establish God's kingdom here on earth. When that happens, we believe he'll gather the living and the dead for judgment. The fact that Jesus was raised to life again can give us confidence to know that if we die prior to Christ's return, God is able to raise us too.